What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so shout out to Legendary for putting this question to me, and she asked me, "Do I believe that Kyle Lowry is a Hall of Famer?" All right, now Kyle Lowry, of course, is best remembered for his tenure with the Toronto Raptors. Of course, he teamed up with DeMar DeRozan for many years on some pretty good Raptors teams that just wasn't able, they just were never able to get over the hump. Now, of course, he plays with the Miami Heat. But before that, Kyle Lowry also played with the Memphis Grizzlies and the Houston Rockets. Um, Earlier on in Kyle Lowry's career, from what I can remember, he was noted for being inconsistent at times and not getting a lot of minutes because at one point in time, Kyle Lowry had conditioning issues. He's always been, you could just look at him. He's the type of guy that has that sort of Benny Johnson, Dennis Johnson type frame. You know, he's a stout guy, prone to putting on weight. He had some weight issues earlier in his career. But ever since he turned, what, late 20s maybe? Ever since he was in his late 20s, he's turned it around and he is a five, or I think he's a six-time All Star. Of course, he won a championship with the Raptors in 2019 with Kawhi Leonard on the team. So, is he a Hall of Famer? Well, look, let's look at his resume, okay? Um, like I mentioned, he won a championship in 2019. He's a six-time NBA All Star. He was on the All NBA third team in 2016. Um, Now, as far as his collegiate career is concerned, because that does add to the equation when you talk about basketball Hall of Fame, he was second team All Big East in 2006. His number one is retired by the Villanova Wildcats, and he was on the Big East All Freshman team in 2005. And he won Olympic gold in 2016. Um, Kyle Lowry is a tenacious player. He's tough. He's not the most athletic guy, but he's a good floor general. He's a pretty good three-point shooter. Not the most accurate guy from the field, about 42% for his career. He was also noted for many years for having, he's made up for that the last couple of years, but he was noted for having poor performances in the postseason. I just don't see a Hall of Famer, okay? And I'm going to tell you why I don't. Because I want someone to answer this question for me. How can anybody rightfully justify Kyle Lowry being in the Hall of Fame, but Chauncey Billups not? And I'm not. Look, I'm one of those guys that I'm not certain that Chauncey was a Hall of Famer. There were some similarities. They both were late bloomers. Uh, they found the right system, the right team that let them blossom with what their natural given gifts were. But when I think of Chauncey, I think of a better player. He was a better outside shooter, uh, more clutch, better free throw shooter, better natural shooter, a better point guard. Uh, you know, Lowry's I think a better rebounder for his position. Um, Lowry is a good defender, but Chauncey, is just on another level to me overall, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. So, when you look at other guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame, Tim Hardaway, Kevin Johnson, I just don't see a Hall of Famer. I don't. I don't see a Hall of Famer in Kyle Lowry. And we got to be careful with this. Just because a guy is good doesn't mean he should be in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is for those exceptional players, not just a guy that's really good. Okay. Um, I don't see a Hall of Fame. I just don't. He would have to do some incredible shit over the next couple of years. Like, I mean, he would have to probably be a top 3 point guard in the NBA, in my opinion, for the next 3 years. Preferably win another championship. Wins another championship, win Finals MVP. Uh, is seen as one of the top players in the league, top five for the next 3 seasons, which I don't think is going to happen given his start. Maybe. Then, in my opinion, might change. But he's on the downside of his career, probably. I just don't see it, y'all. I don't see a Hall of Famer. I see a guy that's very good. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, look, how can he be in the Hall of Fame? I know he won a championship and all, but how can he be in the Hall of Fame and Mark Jackson's not? I mean, we got to stop this. We got to stop being prisoners of the moment with these players. If LaMarcus Aldridge isn't a Hall of Famer, Kyle Lowry's not a Hall of Famer. Rondo, Rondo at least has some accomplishments, man. I mean, he was big in the bubble. Okay, he was a difference maker in the bubble. He does have 2 championships. He does have 2 or 3 assist titles. Um, Now, one of the knock on Rondo is that he didn't elevate some teams. But then again, if you have a coach that's not using you in the right way, and no matter how great a floor general you are, if you don't have the pieces around you, then you can't win. So I don't know. I would put Rondo in the Hall of Fame before I put Kyle Lowry. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what you guys think. By the way, I want to reemphasize this about Kyle Lowry. The playoffs matter to me. Okay, they really matter to me. And when I think of Kyle Lowry, I just don't. I can't come up in my head. I can't conjure a lot of great moments for this guy. What I can remember is a lot of terrible performances that he had when they were going up against LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Um, I just don't really recall a lot of great Kyle Lowry performances. Now, he played pretty good during the Raptors run in 2019. He had some good games. He had a couple of good games, but like throughout the series, Kyle Lowry is good for having some stinkers as far as shooting the basketball. I just can't remember any. You know what I'm saying? Like I just can't remember anything with this guy, man. He's good when he's not giving you anything on the offensive end. He's solid on the defensive end. I'll give you that. Takes charges, all of that shit. He's tough, but Hall of Fame, I just don't know, man.